Did Israel ever encounter something similar in regards to the firepower, determination, and also the amount of proxies that are spread around the Middle East that are targeting Israel today?
You can say that at least two conclusions come to mind. First, you have to separate them one from another. So if you can divide, if you can cause this dissension within the ranks, you lower the risk of some concerted action. Secondly, if you can also have allies and present one alliance to confront another alliance, and as you know, there is an alliance of other countries which are threatened by Iran and which become our allies almost by default. And thirdly, the rule that I think we should employ in these turbulent times to be extremely cautious, and wherever you can avoid escalation, avoid escalations. In principle, Israel should limit the threat coming from those parts. And you can say as a general rule that having learned the lessons, we cannot tolerate the presence of an extremely hostile entity at our borders. We cannot allow and tolerate a heavily armed, semi-military system like the Hezbollah being contiguous to our borders, and in so doing being able to attack us, we have to have either buffer zones or some distancing. That we should have in Lebanon. Where it comes to Gaza, we cannot allow the continued presence in Gaza of the Hamas. The Hamas is precisely such a presence. It is a small military group, but it possesses those missiles and other capabilities. It has shown its ability to penetrate when they seek to attack. So we cannot have them there. It is simply...
How?
Well, we have to bring about their dismantlement. Now, it's easier said than done, but let me remind you that under the principles of the negotiating process we've had with the Palestinians, and on terms that were agreed also by the parties all involved, the UN, the powers, Russia, America, the principle was that territories that we would evacuate would remain demilitarized. And that principle of demilitarization applied until the Y agreement, and throughout, that they should be demilitarized. Now, what does it mean demilitarized? It means that local security forces should have police capabilities, should have light weapons, but not heavy weapons, and certainly not rockets and missiles, which are the most terroristic of all weapons. So, in a way, to say that we should bring about a situation that both Gaza and the West Bank, as it is, be demilitarized is essentially implement.
How do you implement this idea?
We have to create the conditions in which we come to this end. Nothing is easy, but at least the principle was understood at the time, and it can be pursued. Even the great United States had a long time until it successfully suppressed some of these radical Islamic groups. It took time to fight Daesh. It took time to fight Al-Qaeda. It took time to control areas. So these are difficult missions which require time. We have misled ourselves or others in which we thought that we could have an instant degradation of the Hamas. We should have known better, and we should have known that it takes time, and we should not have thought that we could do a shock and awe in this case. Maybe we did a little bit of that, but it takes longer. And I can assure you that even if this round comes into a period of truce, because we have to collect our strength and we have some other duties to recover, we have some casualties to take care of, we have homeless people who have been uprooted from their homes, so we have certain things to do. But we will fight the Hamas, and in the next, gradually, they would not be there. The only way you can essentially demobilize the Hezbollah is if you want and can occupy Lebanon and move systematically and find them and root them out. But we don't want to do that. I don't think it is within our means to have a full occupying army. We've been to Beirut once, and we don't want to commit ourselves to this kind of, to exert ourselves. So, therefore, we have to think whether more limited means can do the job. Apparently, limited means can do the jobs either by, if we attack the capabilities of Hamas as much as we can without reaching them, territorially, or if we put enough pressure, say, on the Lebanese army and government to the extent that they have any capacity to force the Hezbollah, or we occupy parts of in which the Hezbollah controls, and then position ourselves more effectively further north. Therefore, there is no easy, quick, completely effective solution to defeat the Hezbollah completely. In the entire history of the Arab-Israeli wars, I think Israel lost 30,000, 40,000 people in 100 years. And the Arab side, 3 times as much. That's a fraction of what is being lost, in 1 week of a civil war in Syria. So we've been fortunate that even our big wars, either with Egypt or with Syria, have been devoid of hurting civilians,